Before asking for anything today, pause for a moment and take a deep breath. The simple act of opening your eyes is already a silent miracle. Some people went to sleep hoping for a new dawn and didn't see it. But you are here, breathing, feeling, living. And that alone is reason enough to give thanks. Jesus taught us the power of this attitude when, facing a hungry crowd with only 5 loaves and 2 fish, he looked up to heaven and gave thanks. He didn't wait for the miracle to happen before thanking. He thanked first, and that simple act opened the way for the multiplication. Gratitude isn't just a beautiful feeling, it's a declaration of faith. When you give thanks before you see, you are saying, God, I trust your care, even when the little I have seems not enough. That trust transforms scarcity into abundance, discouragement into hope, waiting into a miracle. So today, instead of complaining, look at what you already have and say, Lord, thank you. Thank him for life, for health, for the invisible protection, for the deliverance you didn't even notice. Because when gratitude comes first, the blessing follows. Picture the scene. The sun is setting, the crowd is tired and hungry, and the disciples see no solution. In the middle of all that confusion, Jesus remains calm. He takes what little he has, lifts it to heaven, and gives thanks. It was in that moment of trust that the miracle began. He didn't complain, didn't explain the problem, didn't rush God. He simply acknowledged the Father's power, and that teaches us something profound. Miracles are born from hearts that trust before they see. How often do we look at our little and say, it's not enough? But in the right hands, even a little becomes more than enough. Jesus showed us that gratitude unlocks multiplication, because faith that thanks before is the same faith that receives after. Today, look at your little through eyes of faith. Give thanks for what already exists, because God doesn't need much to do the impossible. He only needs a grateful heart. But there's something time tends to erase: the memory of what God has already done. How many times have you prayed, waited, and when the miracle finally came, you just moved on, forgetting to thank with the same intensity with which you asked? That's how disguised ingratitude begins, not out of malice, but distraction. God doesn't need our acknowledgement to remain God, but we need gratitude to keep our faith alive. When we forget what he has done, we lose expectation for what he will still do. The heart becomes accustomed, the faith fades, and the soul grows heavy. So today, look back. Remember the days you thought you wouldn't make it, and you did. The times everything seemed lost, and it worked out. The moments there was no way, and God opened one. These are the signs that he never abandoned you, and he won't start now. There are also blessings that show up in disguise, the ones that don't happen. Doors that didn't open, relationships that didn't last, prayers that seemed unanswered. Sometimes, God's no is the most loving form of protection. Not every miracle is visible. Many hide in silence, waiting, or even disappointment. Have you ever thought about how many times God saved you from something that would have hurt you, without you even realizing it? Giving thanks for that is spiritual maturity. It's saying, Lord, I trust your wisdom, even when I don't understand your way. True gratitude doesn't depend on circumstances. It flows from the certainty that God is always acting, even when we can't see the movement. Lamentations 3:22-23 says, Because of the Lord's great love we are not consumed, for his compassions never fail, they are new every morning. Each new sunrise is a divine chance to begin again. You don't need to be perfect to be loved by God. He renews you even when you fail, embraces you when you doubt, and lifts you when you fall. Waking up is already mercy. Your heart beats without you commanding it. Air fills your lungs without effort. Life continues while you don't even notice how much is being sustained. God works behind the scenes. While you sleep, he prepares your tomorrow. So before rushing into the day, close your eyes and whisper, Lord, thank you for your faithfulness. Thank you for another day. That simple act of gratitude opens the door for peace and miracles to enter your morning. Waiting on God is one of the greatest tests of faith. Waiting when everything seems still, when silence is the only answer. But it's in that desert that character is shaped. God never promised the absence of struggle. He promised his presence in the struggle. And it's that presence that sustains us. True hope isn't passive, it's endurance. It's choosing to believe even when nothing makes sense. Romans 12:12 reminds us, "Be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer." Those who trust in God don't collapse. They may cry, they may grow tired, but they don't give up. Because even when the situation doesn't change, God is changing something inside us. Seeking His presence daily is the secret of a peaceful soul. God doesn't just want to solve your problems, He wants to walk with you. Prayer isn't just a request, it's a conversation, a heart that speaks and listens. When you learn to give thanks every day, even small things become miracles. The warm coffee, the hug, the morning silence. Gratitude brings you closer to God, because it helps you see that He is already here. And the more you seek Him, the more sensitive you become to His voice. His presence doesn't exhaust, it renews. It doesn't demand, it comforts. It doesn't accuse, it transforms. Many of the battles we face are internal: fear, anxiety, insecurity, doubt. But there's one weapon that disarms despair: gratitude. Paul and Silas were imprisoned, wounded, trapped. Yet at midnight, they chose to sing and give thanks. And the chains broke, the doors opened. Gratitude is more than a gesture. It's a spiritual force. It changes the atmosphere, breaks chains, and brings heaven into the soul. Today, choose to make it your posture toward life. Give thanks before, during, and after. Because where there is gratitude, there is faith. And where there is faith, God moves. Final message. Begin this day the way Jesus began His miracle, by looking to heaven, giving thanks for the little you have, and trusting that the Father will do the rest. The gratitude you give today is the multiplication you'll see tomorrow. Would you like me to adapt this English version to sound more like a natural spoken narration, flowing rhythm, pauses, and phrasing for voice delivery? It would make it perfect for recording.